Okay. Good morning, everyone. My name is Muskaan Juneja, and it's such a pleasure to be here today. And today I'll be sharing my research titled Accelerating AI Adoption Through Strategic Product Thinking. Now, this topic actually began with a very simple question that why is it like some industries like tech and finance are racing ahead with AI and others like construction and heavy equipment are still catching up? So, this study basically explores that gap and shows how product thinking mindset can help these traditional industries transform faster and more sustainably. So, let me start by setting up the stage. Um, in the last decade, AI has reshaped entire industries like finance, healthcare, retail, all have seen all have seen massive productivity gains. But when it comes to construction and heavy equipment sectors, something interesting happens. The momentum slows down. So, in fact, fewer than 20% of the firms have implemented AI at scale. It's such a small number. And it's not because that have not access, they don't have access to technology. It's because of resistance to change, siloed data, and lack of digital skills. So, despite having the tools, these industries struggle with something very deep, which is organizational readiness. So, here's where the problem gets real. AI adoption in construction is often very fragmented. So, we see pilot projects, proof of concepts, small experiments, but a very few of them scale across the enterprise level. Why is it so? It's because the organization isn't ready to absorb the change, absorb the new technology. So, main reasons are resistance, skills gap, integration. These three things create a lot of friction. And think of it like building a skyscraper on a weak soil. So, no matter how advanced your machinery is, your structure won't stand for very long. So, the issue isn't the technology, it's the foundation beneath it. Moving on, this brings us to the core purpose of my study. I wanted to explore whether strategic product thinking, a mindset focused on users, iteration, and measurable value, could help overcome these barriers. So, the guiding question was how can strategic product thinking enable sustainable organization wide AI adoption in construction and heavy equipment sectors? The goal was very simple to bridge the gap between technological capability and organizational readiness. So, let me briefly take you through the methodology. So, this was a qualitative analytical study combining two perspectives. The first one being a systematic literature review. So, I analyzed about 32 publications from 2020 to 2025, from academic research to consulting reports. Secondly, I used practitioner insights. I work at a construction firm, so through semi-construct structured interviews with about 50 professionals involved in modernization and AI adoption projects. And together, these two lenses, both theoretical and which shows the breadth and the real world depth through the practitioner insights, offered a balanced understanding of what really drives or blocks AI adoption. Next, moving on to the findings. The first one that I saw was fragmented AI adoption. Across both literature review and practitioner insights, about 58% of the initiatives were stuck at the pilot phase. Only 27% reached at department level, and a menial amount of 15% it achieved an enterprise wide rollout. So that clearly tells us that technical success doesn't actually equate to organizational success. So scaling and not starting is the real challenge. The next finding was organizational resistance and skills gap. So as you can see that cultural resistance was cited in about 65% of the studies, and the lack of digital skills was cited in about 54%, data silos in 49%, and weak change management in 37%. So here's a quick story behind it. One company rolled out an AI dashboard to track equipment efficiency. The tool was brilliant, but frontline technicians and workers they didn't understand how it will fit into their daily work. Within weeks, the adoption dropped. So the message here, that technology fails when people don't see its relevance. People and process readiness matter even more than technical readiness. Moving on to the last finding was absence of strategic framework. Many firms, they are still treating AI as an IT project, something with a start and an end date. But AI doesn't work like that. It's a continuous journey. So, in organizations that adopted product thinking, things look very different. They iterated, took user feedback, refined the tools, and the adoption rates soared. For instance, one AI based diagnostic tool saw about 30% rise in adoption within just 3 months of iterative redesign. That's what happens when AI becomes a living product and not a static project. So, why does product thinking work? You must be thinking because it shifts the focus from deploying tools to delivering value. It rests on four principles. The first one being user centered design, second is iterative learning, third is cross functional collaboration, and the last one, incremental scaling. Together, they make AI initiatives not just smart but also more human, adaptable, and sustainable. So, what does this mean for us in practice? So, for industry practitioners, they should be treating AI as a product journey and not a one time project. They should invest in leadership, behavioral change, and user engagement. And for policymakers, their focus should be on reskilling programs and frameworks that enhance AI readiness across industries. And for technology providers, they should co create with their clients. And they should not just deliver, but also partner and iterate and deliver value. So, when these three forces align together, industry, policy, and technology, that's when sustainable AI transformation happens. And let me walk you through this conceptual model. It brings it all together, whatever I discussed in the previous slide. So, practitioners, they drive iteration, adoption. Policymakers create enabling ecosystem, and technology vendors, they ensure continuous improvement. And at the center of this triad lies sustainable AI adoption, the point where innovation and readiness truly meet. So, to conclude, the findings remind us that the biggest barriers to AI adoptions are not technical, they are organizational. But by embracing a strategic product thinking mindset, companies can bridge that gap. So, AI adoption isn't a single leap, it's a series of small, intentional steps, steps that evolve through feedback, learning, and collaboration. So, when organizations they start seeing AI as a product evolution instead of a project deadline, transformation stops being temporary and starts being sustainable. So, thank you so very much for your time and attention. And I hope this talk inspires more organizations to treat AI not just as a technology or a one time project, but as a living partnership between people, processes, and purpose. And together we can build intelligent and, more importantly, human centered industries. Thank you so much. And I'm happy to take any questions.